everyone, this is ICO Talk. My name is Yelena. Today my guest is Nick Ravanbakhsh, co-founder of Spective. Hello Nick, thanks for joining us.
Hi Elena, how are you doing?
Okay, so first of all, will you please tell us about Spective? What is the main idea behind the project?
Sure, so Spective is the creator and first adopter of the Signal Token protocol. Signal tokens work to decentralize advertising. Where right now, for example, if you were an advertiser and you wanted to run an ad campaign on a YouTube video, you don't go and talk to the video creator. You have to go through Google and YouTube, and they eat up huge fees and control all the data on the ad campaign. We're basically cutting out the middleman, so now advertisers can initiate a smart contract that automatically rewards everyone who drives attention to their advertisements. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
cool.
But Spective and Signal Token Protocol were created simultaneously, yes? Or Spective was the first project?
So Spective VR was the first project. Now, what I just described, the Signal Token Protocol, that's built for any media platform to build upon. But we're going to be the first to use it with our virtual reality platform, Spective VR. So that's basically a platform for just kind of all kinds of virtual reality streaming, whether that be like, you know, if you're in Italy or Russia or Japan and you have a 360 camera, you can stream your virtual reality experiences to the world so people from home can, you know, kind of see life from that perspective. That's our media platform, and that's the background that we come from years before we, you know, kind of introduced cryptocurrency to it. But because we're in the virtual reality space, we knew that we would have to do something differently to drive attention because virtual reality is a new technology, it's emerging, it's in the fringes, etc. So we looked to the blockchain and what we could do with decentralized advertising to really help drive attention to virtual reality. And that's where we came up with the Signal Token protocol. But we knew that this token wouldn't be as valuable as if it was just fixed to Spective. We wanted to open it up and make it open source so that other media platforms could use it. And that's where the token protocol really is its own decentralized component. And Spective is just going to be the first media platform to adopt it and use it.
Okay, I see. And are there any similar projects on the market, or you're absolutely unique?
In the virtual reality space or in the token space?
Both.
Okay, yeah. So, in the virtual reality space right now, there's actually no competition for community-driven virtual reality streaming, meaning people just, average people like you or me, you know, making a 360 video and uploading it for virtual reality. However, for live events, things like, you know, sports games, you know, football games, soccer, concerts and things like that, there are other participants in the market because that's something a lot of people are really excited about. There's not a ton of competition. There's one major player, Next VR, who's doing that and focusing on that niche. That is something that we want to do, but it's not our primary focus. But in that way, there are some competitors.
But now, what is your main advantage over them? Yeah.
Our main advantage over them is that we're not just focusing on those events. We're a destination for all things virtual reality. And in that way, we strongly believe we're going to have a greater user base. And once we have that user base, we'll start to introduce the events and hopefully be able to have more eyes on them than the competition. That makes sense.
Okay.
Now, on the token side, right?
Yeah.
For the decentralized advertising, the whole concept of attention tokens right now is very exciting. It's kind of like an inevitable application of the blockchain. Similar to like distributed ownership of real estate, I like to compare it to. There's a lot of applications of blockchain that are very, very, very crucial. And for that reason, there's going to be some competitors and things. In the attention space, we do have two major competitors. That's basic attention token and then AdX. Those are the two that kind of stick out the most to us that we've heard from different people. Basic attention token is really awesome and kind of goes after a similar mission to what we go after, but they do it a lot differently. They are specifically focused on viewers, where right now, if you're just a person surfing the internet, you know, on your computer or on your phone, you have to see so many ads that you don't even want to see. They've created a browser that allows you basically to block those ads, and if you do look at those ads, you get rewarded for looking at those ads. But that's the thing. It's specifically focused on giving rewards to viewers. Spective is focused on rewarding viewers and publishers, people who create content, and additionally content curators, meaning people who share things. So if you have, you know, say 100,000 followers on your Twitter and you share a link to a video or an article and you drive thousands of views to it, you can also get rewarded through our protocol. So in that way, we're rewarding different actors, which makes us almost entirely different than basic attention token. Now, AdX is closer to Spective, But again, they don't incorporate the content curator component where you can go and share a link and get rewarded and things. They're more into rewarding publishers and viewers. So we're really trying to be an all-encompassing advertising protocol decentralization application, if that makes sense.
Okay, I got it. And so let's now proceed to the ICO. First of all, do you have a pre-sale? And secondly, what is the soft cap and the hard cap of the main ICO?
Yes, so soft cap is $2 million, hard cap, soft cap meaning like minimum amount $2 million, hard cap is going to be $40 million. The pre-ICO will be starting December 8th, and if people sign up to our email list now, early on, there will be an early supporter, early access to the token still. It's going to start in December 5th. But those people will have to sign up for our email list at spectivevr.com. They sign up for that email list. We'll be sending them their early access credentials to get a 60% bonus and early access to the ICO. So it starts on December 8th officially for the public, but for people who sign up for our email list, they'll be able to get in at December 5th.
Okay, and the hard cap, as I've got it, it's 40, yes, $1 million.
Yes.
Okay, will you please tell us in more details what for do you need this particular sum, because it's a rather huge sum. Will you please elaborate a little bit about the roadmap?
Yeah, absolutely. And so, first of all, one thing that we want to make clear is that our cap is not a target. It's not that we need or we're getting after 40 million. It's simply a cap to make sure that we're not raising an irresponsible amount that we don't know what to do with. But at 40 million, we do have certain target objectives that we kind of can clear with that. So for the most part, it's important to understand that we are building two separate platforms here. We're building the Spective virtual reality platform and then the signal token protocol. The Spective virtual reality component does have some costs associated to it. For example, bandwidth of data. Because we're doing 360 video content, it's many gigabytes of kind of information that we have to host that does cost some money on our end. And then most importantly, on the signal token protocol side, we really want to put all that we can into making sure that we have very robust and good working smart contracts, and most importantly, helping bring other media platforms in to adopt it and advertisers to come in and actually use it. Driving all that real world engagement is going to really help if we have some dollars behind it that we can use and that we can kind of like have to last longer over the next several years as crypto and virtual reality adoption kind of take time. We don't know if virtual reality and mainstream blockchain applications get adopted 2 years from now or 10 years from now, and that's where kind of like a stretched sort of amount on the ICO can kind of like help us on the variable cost. But 40 million is by no means an absolutely necessary amount. It was just a cap that we wanted to set to have a cap. Yeah.
Okay, I see. And well, apart from the ICO, do you consider any other maybe traditional sources of crowdfunding?
Well, not necessarily. It may be a thing that we consider down the line, but for us, the ICO is, we don't so much want to call it a crowdfunding mechanism as much as it is a sale of token, right? Our token is a utility token. It is a product which serves a purpose. And so we'll be selling that to the public, and all payments that come in are a revenue and not so much a capital raise. So we don't see it as a capital raise. But in the traditional world, as far as venture capital goes, it may be a thing that we approach more towards actual virtual reality adoption. Once VR starts to become a bigger thing and, the traditional finance world starts to see it as such, we think that we may be able to reach a valuation that we're okay with and, may sell some equity in the company and things like that.
Okay. Tell us more about the tokens. What are the key benefits for your token holders?
Yeah, absolutely. So with the signal token protocol, I don't want to make any forward-looking statements on profit. Our token does not guarantee dividends or anything like that, but I can make statements on the utility of the token. So basically, right now, if an advertiser wants to run an ad campaign using signal tokens, they have to buy signal tokens off the market. And when they do, they can create a smart contract that rewards people for driving attention to their advertisers. It rewards publishers, it rewards viewers, it rewards content curators, meaning people who share content, right? Now, as it slowly rewards people, let's say, for example, an advertiser puts 10,000 signal tokens into a smart contract to reward people for driving attention. As it slowly depletes that 10,000, it's paying people for the attention they're driving. And once that 10,000 signal tokens is gone and it's all been paid to the community, that advertiser wants to run an ad campaign again. They have to now buy those tokens off the market from the people they just paid them to run that ad campaign. As more and more advertisers come into the space and begin to use this ecosystem, the utility of the token goes up greatly in the future. So anybody who wants to, support the vision or sees the future of decentralized advertising may very well want to look more into our white paper and, consider token purchasing.
Yeah, sure. Okay, I see. Will you please tell us a little bit about the team of the project?
Oh man, yeah, I can go on and on forever. Really, without getting into a ton of detail, the thing that I will say that's my favorite about our team is that we are all friends from years, and we are all here in Houston. We've got our office space here across from our consultant, Sutton Stone. We work together every day. We're not, scattered across the world. We're all just really good friends from college. Dylan has got a really extensive background in entrepreneurship. I remember meeting him in college, and he was a person who was, kind of like always free to do whatever he wanted because he's been financially taking care of his entire life just as an entrepreneur doing e-commerce stuff. He's always imported and exported things and had a huge Amazon storefront and stuff like that. So he's been great. We met in college through a startup that we had that was kind of like a technology play called Sense Attack. It was an intellectual property for something that we had licensed from the university that we went to. For a smart cement technology. Basically, it was a structural health monitoring technology that you could use to make sure that like your concrete structures were safe and not going to, get destroyed. It was funded for $2.7 million by the Department of Energy, and we basically ran around and did a bunch of commercialization for it, did meetings with big energy companies and construction companies and things like that. We won a bunch of business plan competitions together, and that's where Dylan and I really kind of built our relationship. We had both been crypto enthusiasts prior to that. And then, we built this virtual reality business, Spective VR, and realized that if we incorporated blockchain here, we could really help drive attention to the virtual reality space. And so we just kind of came together with it. Now, our CTO, Chris, is also a really great friend of mine from college who is an extremely talented programmer. If anyone watching this, I hope you'll refer to his YouTube channel, Dev Coffee, DEVCOFFEE. On that YouTube channel, you'll see basically everything about him and his whole programming background, where he basically teaches programming to everyone. And he's been an awesome CTO on all ends. He's developed the portal for our pre-sale. He'll be developing the portal for our actual token sale. Developed the entire Spective virtual reality platform, which is live right now. Our alpha's out in case anybody wants to go and look at it. And then we've got some other developers that are under him that he's kind of helping manage and stuff like that. And it's been really awesome. We've got a great team, and I couldn't be more happy with it.
Okay, I see it. I'm sure, Chris. Now I'm quite sure about it. And what about your advisors? Do you have any famous names in the team?
Yes. No. Well, yeah. Yes and no. So we don't like to put down that we have advisors if we're not literally talking to them every day, right? So the advisors that you'll see on our website are Sheldon Weisfeld, James Desheen, Adam Richard, and then Quasi Asari. These people are people that we talk with just about every day. James and Adam are literally in the offices across from us, and we're always in conversations with them about like our legal structure, token strategy, token product statements, and things like that. And so it's really great. Now, those are our advisors. I don't think that they're necessarily like globally renowned names in the crypto space. However, we do have what we call additional contributors, which are people who we've met with, a few times here and there who've really helped us strategize on our token. And that does include names like Joe Ergo of District OX. He is a co-founder at District OX, a really great token project. And then Ned Scott, founder of Steemit, was really one of the ones who helped us draw our inspiration for the attention token and stuff like that. We met with him several times. So we have had definitely a good few conversations with people. As we've gone to different crypto conferences, for example, the IoT in Barcelona, Coin Agenda in Vegas, the Texas Bitcoin Conference in Texas, we've been able to have some conversations with some really big players and things, but not as formal advisors. For our formal advisors, it's the four that I mentioned: James, Adam, Quasi, and Sheldon, who've all been fantastic.
Okay. What do you personally think about the future and the perspectives of the ICO market?
So I do have opinions on it. For me, the main thing, and this is just my opinion, and I don't want to like attach this to Spective. This is just Nick Ravanbakhsh speaking here. I do believe that right now, a lot of projects are going after the utility token model, where it doesn't necessarily fit in with their business. and they don't necessarily need to apply blockchain there, but they do specifically want to raise funds, so they're using ICO as a mechanism for that. If you're a company that wants to raise funds, that's the reason why you want to get into the ICO space. You should do so through what I believe is a better method, security token, where you just say, hey, here's my company, here's 100% equity in my company, let me issue 20 or 30 or 40% of the equity in my company to the public through a token that does attach value to equity in my company. I think that these people are going to have a lot less of a headache. They're not going to have to write 20, 30 pages of white paper to somehow explain how the token fits in with their business. And people in the market who are looking to buy tokens will have a much more compelling offering to run with. Because right now, in many cases, I don't understand the tokens and what they do. So it's made for a kind of awkward state of ICOs right now. And I think that as people begin to realize that they can use ICOs to raise funding in a traditional way where they do, give out equity for it, we're going to see an overwhelming amount of people from outside of the crypto space flooding the ICO market, using it as a mechanism to raise funding. So people in Silicon Valley who are doing all their technology applications and things like that, they come in and say, hey, rather than go and knock on doors of 1,000 different venture capitalists, let's attach some equity to some tokens that represent ownership in our company, run a campaign online, sell the token, and see if we can raise some funds and get our startup off the ground. Yeah. So I think that that's overwhelmingly going to be where the ICO space goes in the next few years.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And just to sum it up, in one or two sentences, in very, very brief, why should I invest in Spective?
You should invest in Spective because attention is currency, and that's going to be how it goes in the future. The Signal Token Protocol is a way to decentralize that attention. And we do have a first real-world application, which is Spective VR, something a lot of tokens don't have. And through that real-world application, we'll be able to connect the blockchain theory with real-world application. We're really excited about it.
Okay, Nick, then thank you very much for this fantastic interview. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you so much, Elena. Bye.
Okay, and I remind you that today my guest was Nick Ravanbakhsh, co-founder of Spective. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and watch more interesting videos. Bye-bye.